Hi everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. So, today I'm going to fill out worksheet and so that you can see how it here the here's the sample worksheet. And notice here I will have copied the trial balance sum in problems. You have to copy this data from the data in the book. But it's simple finding the cash copying it on this page. So this column is really easy if you have got a trial balance. Now if you are filling out a trial balance from your journal ledger, then you will need to copy this data from your journal ledger. But for now we have got a trial balance and there's some adjustment. These are adjustment that I need to make. I'm going to put this adjustment into the adjustment column here and I'll show you how to do that right now in just my screen, so I don't need to pay attention to any other column and point. I'm just gonna put the adjustment into the adjustment adjustment column. So the first adjustment here is that an order where the movie a little bit of adjustment here is insurance expired. This means notice. Now you can notice here first I have got insurance expired here as an adjustment and I have got prepaid insurance here, and what is expired means at the beginning of month or at the beginning of month end of the period I bought a bunch of prepaid insurance. I have got lost of insurance and I purchased $11,000 worth of insurance. I'm not gonna have to pay insurance for probably another year here almost, but every month I need you to acknowledge the hazard sum of my expense of this month was paid in the previous period. So I have got log the in the adjustment column. So the first thing I notice here, I've got prepaid insurance but I don't have paid expense. And the thing that you will need to remember about the adjustment column is that it's double entry. For every debit, I'm not also happy a credit in this column. So I'm going to come down here. This is insurance expense. Now notice here I'm actually adding some accounts down below. I'm going to add a few accounts as I do this problem. Here insurance expense is one. Then when I come over and I add up the adjustments column and all the other columns down the row, I'm going to add all them. I'm gonna add everything including everything else, including the stuff down here. So insurance expired is $1,000. Insurance expense, this is a debit account. I need to do this, need to adjust for depreciation on equipment. Oh, and before we do that, I'm just like to mention again this is double entry. So for each of this I'm gonna make two entries, one of the debit side and one on the credit side. In the adjustment call now I'm gonna do both of those things. I've got depreciation on equipment $400. In an earlier class we talked about how to calculate that. I don't need to calculate that here because it's given to me in this problem. The problem I know that I have got $400 worth of depreciation on equipment, so now I need to know acknowledge that. So I looked over here, I have got accumulated depreciation on equipment $400 and I don't have anything else. This is monthly expense, the two account that I need to hit here and accumulate depreciation and depreciation expense, and I don't have it. I don't have depreciation expense in any this account here, so I'm gonna put it down here. Depreciation does not change my equipment account. Equipment is gonna stay at $5,000. To this supplies on hand, this is the only account, and I have got supplies. I have got $450 worth of supplies. So here it adjusted 450. Yeah, but put and other tab their supplies 450, and then I've got supplies on hand 200. This means that supplies on hand is this a key phrase here. Watch for this supplies on hand. That means that at the end of the month I went back into the back and I did an inventory. I said how many supplies do I have, and I counted $2,000 worth of supplies. This supplies on hand is not how much expense I have. This is not my expense. This is how much is left over. And in order to find out what my expense is, need to do a little bit subtraction. Here my supplies expense is $250. What left over supplies expense is how much I used during the month. And over here my worksheet, I don't have to supplies expense raw, so I'm gonna add one down them. It's a double entry, so every time they have a debit, I need to put an equal on the credit side. So here I go, this here my supplies raw, and I'm gonna put a credit right here, and this makes sense as well. I had $450 worth of supplies at the beginning of the month, and then I'm gonna credit that account, which means it's going to decrease because it's an asset, and it increase on the debit side and decrease on the credit side. So there's my supplies on hand. I'm done with that one. Next I have wages owed but not paid to that, or $220. Over here I've got some wages expense for the month. I had $840 which I paid to my employees, and this wages owed but not paying, we talked about this in an earlier class period, where this is the amount that I had to pay day maybe on Monday, and then I had maybe 5 more days where my employees worked but I didn't pay him for it. And I've got account payable, but that's different. That is payable. This is acknowledging. Now I have a debit, so my wages expense is gonna go up by $220. There it is, and now my wages payable is going to be a credit for $220, and so I have locked all my adjustment call, and now I need to do that's left. I need to add up this column. I need to get a total. Now this is separate sheet program, and put a formula down in here, but I just want to show you because some of my students work on paper, and here we go. Here I bought my little calculator. I'm just gonna add this up on the debit side. Still add it just to make sure, just to make sure, but for the purpose of this exercise I'm going to add them up on the other side as well. I've got one out. Oops, up there. Here 1000 plus $400, but 250 plus $220 is 1870. There it is the same amount, 1870. As far as the formulating does, I do make it look just like it would look over here. I've got thick line and double line, and now my adjustment calling is completely done. I've locked all my adjustment over here, and I have totaled them down. So that's what I need to do. I'm going to try this, see if I can figure this out. Nope, I don't see it there. So yeah, we're good when you close up the video, and in the next video I will show you how to adjust a trial balance call.